Okay, hi guys. So today for your homework, October 26th or 27th, we are going to paint in our journal a landscape with ink. So here is an example I'm showing you, and I'm going to switch to my document cam and we'll get started. So for this project, you're going to need one of the medium-sized paintbrushes, and personally, I like the ones that come to a point. Those will work better. The ones that are flat like this, one that's too big, but flat often doesn't work as well for this type of thing. You're going to need your ink. Came in this bottle or a different bottle. A paper towel is always a good idea. This is my little cap filled about 2/3 or about half full of water. So remember, I asked you to collect a cap. And you could use a milk jug cap or like a twist off bottle cap, but you just essentially want a smaller amount of water. Okay, and then your journal, you're going to do it in your journal. So in class today, we had, I haven't put it in here because I'm making this video ahead of time, but we did something with images from magazines, and we made kind of a little fold out thing here. So that is on page 2 and 3. So I want you to turn to page 4 and 5. Okay, so we're just going to do this on the page 4 side. This is the left side. I'm just going to put this paper down here. Here is my cap of half full of water. I'm going to take my ink, and I want one small drop of ink. One. Okay. And mix it around in there. And for this first layer, we're going to paint the background. Okay. So I'm just going to use page 4. So for my background, I think I want to have kind of like a mountainy type thing. So if you would do this too, and then paint it all in from the mountain all the way down. Okay. And you can pause the video if you want and paint and then come back to it. But it should be really light. Okay, so that is stage 1. Look how light that is. Okay, and what I'm going to have you do is either wait and let it dry completely, or go get like a hair dryer or a fan and get this piece of paper dry. So I'm going to go do that and come back. Okay, so my paper is completely dry, and you'll be able to tell because it won't be cold anymore. I dried it with a hair dryer for 15 seconds or so, but it shouldn't be cold. Okay, so that's the first background part. We're going to do another one that's another layer that is moving forward towards the middle ground. Okay, so this next layer, we're going to take another 2 drops this time. Okay, we want 2 drops of the ink, and this ink does stain your clothing. Be careful. And if you get more than 2, you might want to pour it all out and start over again. So far I have 1 drop in my cap. Now I'm going to put 2 more drops. So 1, 2. Okay, mix it up. And the next layer, I'm going to do just some kind of rolling hills. So I just made kind of a curved line, and then again, fill it all in. Try to get it even on the page. Okay, and then I'm going to either wait for it to dry or go blow dry it. I'm going to go dry it real quick. Okay, so now we have 2 layers in the background, and you can see the first layer was really light and then the second layer got darker. I have 3 drops in here so far, and so I'm going to open it up again very carefully and add 2 more drops. So 3, 4, 5. Okay, and you definitely want to make sure this is dry, otherwise it'll just bleed all over the place. So I am stirring. And this time I'm going to work on the middle ground. And the middle ground is going to be kind of like a close hill. So I'm going to make my close hill. I kind of just made like a squiggly mark. But then I kind of want to put some kind of little points almost to show little trees in the distance. So some can be taller than others. You see how I'm just kind of going up and down? Don't make it regular. And then I can fill all of this in. And so it goes from light to dark. So go ahead and do that. You can pause the video, do that, and then let it dry completely in front of a fan. Take it outside, or if you have a hairdryer. Okay guys, so we've done 3 layers, and you'll notice the first layer, the background, was very light and it was up towards the top, right? And then I slowly am moving closer towards the bottom. This next layer, I'm actually not going to add any more any more ink to my water here, but I'm going to put in some like distant trees, and so you can do trees however you want, but remember, in the distance, things should be smaller and things should be lighter. So I'm just going to do some trees that start in the middle of this kind of ground here, and this kind of go like this. And I am kind of twirling my brush. I'm kind of rolling my fingers and just using the very tip of my brush, almost like it's on its tiptoes. And then you can do branches, almost like a winter tree. And if you notice, I haven't loaded my brush more than once. So it's just that same water one time in, and I did all of that. So I'm going to go dry it. It shouldn't take too long to dry. There shouldn't be a lot of water. I'll come back. Okay, so I'm back and it's all dry. And before I go on, I'm going to take my water with my ink. And it's getting pretty dark and I want it to be even darker. And so instead of adding more ink to the water, I'm going to go clean this out and come back with a completely dry cap. So you do the same. Go and empty it out, put it down the drain. Don't spill it on the carpet. It will stain, okay? And come right back. Okay, so I have a clean and dry cap, and I'm going to put some of my ink in there because I'm just going to use straight ink now. This is very black, right? So I'll put in 1, 2, maybe 10 drops. Okay, so you can see how much I have in there. It's actually not very much. If I need more, I can always put more in there. Okay, And I'm going to put my pen in there or my paintbrush in there. And I'm going to start with down at the foreground. So this is now the foreground. Remember, the foreground's towards the bottom. The foreground is always big. Things are bigger and things are darker and more clear and have more detail. Although this is just kind of almost a sketch of a painting, so there's not going to be a lot of detail. So I'm going to take my ink on my brush, kind of wipe it off a little bit so it's not too drippy. And I'm going to do what's called scumbling, which means I take my brush and I kind of go like this. Just a little line of scumbling. Don't get too big. And that is to kind of represent the foreground. Okay, so if you missed it, I'm actually kind of having the brush do the work. And the best part, or the best tip I can give you is to not hold your paintbrush up here. It's to hold it way back here, and then you can get some more random scumbling lines. Okay? Now, if there's still water on your paint or liquid on your paintbrush, use it, okay? And you're going to go over some of these and you're going to twist up as you go. See how it's kind of sketchy? There's not a lot. And I'm trying to go over some of the lines I had before, but also making some new ones. Okay, and I don't have a lot left on my brush. So I'm going to dip it back in, wipe it off. I'm actually going to kind of get some of the wetness off on the piece of paper and see how dark that is. That's okay, but it's good to do this kind of lightness first and then we can go over it. So I'm just twisting my brush to get these little tendrils going over here, getting a little bit more. So this is in the foreground. Add a couple more trees if you want. I kind of ended up going on over the crease, but that's okay. Okay, and around where the trees are, make another tree here. Get some more ink. There we go. And then the last layer should be the blackest down here and over here. Should be the darkest, and that's the tree that's closest to you. And there you've done just a quick landscape painting with foreground, middle ground, and background. You could, if this bothers you right here, I could see maybe some of you could just kind of scumble up some more of the tree so it almost looks like the tree is on a little raised hill or something. That might be nice. Kind of up to you. I like these scratchy type imperfect lines. Okay? So don't forget to wash out your brush. Wash out the cap. If you want, you can try to if you put too much ink in here, you can try to put it back in the container. Otherwise, you can just wash this little bit down the drain and wash and dry your brush completely. So next time we use it, it doesn't have black all over it. Okay? So that's your homework for Monday or Tuesday, October 26th or 22nd. 7th. 26th or 27th. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.